Hi everybody, I'm Leslie Peterson and I own 365 Atlanta Traveler. We make new adventures discoverable for Atlanta travelers who are seeking the perfect combination of hotspots and hidden gems all over the South. I've been working with Laurie on this effort and the entire LRC team for a number of years, and they've asked me to come and talk to you about how I work, what it's like to work with bloggers, and that sort of blogger perspective, especially how it might apply if you are hosting a blogger on a media trip as opposed to a paid engagement. You ready to get started? The first question that a lot of CVBs and destinations ask is, why should I even bother to work with bloggers? And if I decide to do that, who are the right ones? So those are a few questions we're going to address today. I think it's important for destinations to work with bloggers because we bring credibility to your marketing message. You're working really hard on your website, print ads, digital ads, you might be putting your own Facebook ads out there, and those are super. But a blogger reinforces that message that you're sending out. Nielsen said that 92% of consumers trust recommendations from other people, even if they don't know them, over promotional content that a brand is presenting. And I love this from Content Marketing Institute. They say that brands that leverage social influencers to help spread their message are seeing up to a 10-fold increase in conversion rates. So we believe that we are contributing to helping you spread the word in a genuine and authentic voice. And that's why I think you should work with bloggers. Okay, you've made the decision to work with bloggers. Now they're calling, they're asking you if they can come visit. They want you to pick up the tab on their expenses, maybe their hotel, a few of their meals, some of their tickets. How do you know if it's worth it? Well, we've got 4 tips for you. Okay, number 1, I think this is the most important. Know their audience. Understand who your message is getting to. And you've got to get this right. It's not going to help you if your message is being directed at the wrong market. A lot of people say, well, do I need huge numbers? And so we have big numbers and we like to think that that helps, but it's not everything. Our big numbers mean nothing to somebody who's trying to target people who live in New York. We target people who live in Atlanta. So what you want to do is find out how many people they have visiting their blog and where the bulk of those people are located, how old they are, what their household income is, what their primary interests are, how often do they travel. You need to know all of those things before you invest in a blog. Now, Google Analytics is great, but it's not going to give a blogger that information. They need a tool that will help them dig deeper into their audience. I recommend Quantcast. It's free for the blogger. If they don't have Quantcast, they can get it, install it. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks for that information to become available, and then they can give you a call back with their household income, the interest levels, their affinity for travel, all the demographics that are really important for you to know before you're hosting a blogger. Don't be shy about asking for this information. This is very important, and if a blogger doesn't have it, then shame on them. Number 2, ask if you can see examples of their work. When's the last time they were hosted in a mountain town, a beach town, a small city, a big city, whatever type of destination you have? Ask what the deliverables were. Ask to see what those deliverables. Read those blog posts. Make sure they're the type of information that you're looking for. Ask them to also send over their top 10 blog posts, because those 10 blog posts are probably driving the majority of their traffic, and you can get an idea of what type of person would read those blog posts. Number 3, ask the blogger, what's your differentiator? What makes you different than Joe Schmo blogger down the road? You have a luxury hotel that you want to work with. Then you might try finding somebody whose differentiator is a luxury audience. You might find somebody who's leading the blogging, the travel blogging world in the African American community. Find out what their differentiator is and if that's something that's necessary for you or if you can work with that. Again, I would say if a blogger doesn't understand what their differentiator is, then shame on them, because then they're just a commodity and it's not worth your investment, in my humble opinion. Ask them, once you find out what their differentiator is, ask them how that translates into value for you. So for us, I can tell you our SEO modeled posts translate into your destination being found on the web, usually on page 1, for several years instead of several weeks. That's the value you get. So a blogger should be able to describe what value their differentiation brings to you. And if they can't qualify what their differentiator is and what the value is, I say it's time to pass. And my fourth suggestion, ask for a few references. I have never had anyone ask me for references, and I don't understand why not. I ask for references when I have someone watching my kids. I ask for references when we decide what school we're going to go to. I even look up on Yelp for references before we go out to dinner and spend 20 bucks. So if you're going to invest in this particular blogger, ask for references. Give me 2 destinations like mine that you've worked with, and can I give them a call and ask them how it was to work with you? Okay, now you've asked these questions of the blogger, you've read their blog, you determined that they had the right audience, that their differentiator was a good fit for you. You saw examples of their work and you called a few references, and now you're ready for them to come. So here's what I would recommend. Once you know they're a fit, ask them to agree on a minimum set of deliverables. Ask them, what's your minimum deliverable for me? They might say, well, we're going to do 1 blog post and we're not going to do any social media. Well, ask them if they can do social media while they're there. Ask them if they're going to put the article on Pinterest, if they can include it in their newsletter, if they can do social while they're there and when they get back. Always ask for more. You can negotiate, you can decide whether it's worth it or not, and the blogger can decide whether it's worth it or not, but know the tools that are available to you and ask them what comes standard, and then ask for a little bit more, because chances are they're going to agree. Now, on our site, we take hosted trips regularly, and we don't charge for them. We just ask for our travel expenses to be covered. But we do have several clients that we work with, and Lori asked me to kind of explain a little bit about what the difference is between a hosted visit and then a paid engagement. Our clients who are paying for our services, they always get reporting, they get guaranteed minimum visibility, they get shares in other outlets that we write for, they get the best keywords since we're SEO experts. So those are the types of things that you might not get on a hosted visit. You might not get reporting unless you're actually paying for the engagement. Last thing, Laurie asked me to give you 3 of my requests of working with destinations, what I wish they would do, and 3 things that I celebrate that I see regularly. So I'm going to go through these really quick. Number 1, request. Please don't copy and paste my article and put it on your website. That's actually a copyright infringement, and it hurts SEO, so it ends up hurting us both in the end. Number 2, FAM tours. I don't take FAM tours. I think maybe in my 8 years of blogging, I've taken 2 FAM tours before. We think that it's really important to visit a destination and enjoy it authentically. So I come generally with my family, sometimes just with my husband. That's very, very common in the blogger world. So if they're asking to bring their spouse or to bring their entire family, they're not trying to rip you off. They're trying to actually get a really authentic experience. You don't get that in a big FAM trip, which is why we don't attend those. And I really wish more destinations would understand it's just not the same. It's just not a genuine experience of the destination, and that's what we're hoping to deliver for our readers. Okay, number 3. Don't use a network, a blogger network. Here's what happens with blogger networks. Blogger network is when you pay a certain amount of money to somebody and they go and say to 1,000 bloggers out there, hey, we'll give you $50 if you write this post about XYZ destination. And sometimes it'll be $100 and sometimes it'll be $300, but it's never very much money. And what you have happen is that all of the poor blogs out there, the blogs that are not doing very well, who are not able to sustain themselves, are the ones that end up taking the assignment. So you're generally not getting your values worth, and in fact, your destination is showing up on a series of commoditized blogs that might not give you the best reputation. Okay, the 3 celebrations. I love it when a destination shares with me the goal of the visit. So if you've invited me or you've agreed to have me come, there's generally a goal that you have in mind. Is it date nights? Is it, not millennials with me, I'm too old for that. But is it family travel? Are you trying to promote a special event? Tell me what that is so I can focus on that in my article and in the social media that I'm sharing. I also love when expectations are set really well up front, specifically in the itinerary. Tell me what the social handles are for the members that I'm going to be visiting. Tell me what parts of the agenda or itinerary are required and what are just ideas. Tell me what's comped and what's not comped. Or if I go to a restaurant, is the tip included or not included? Is alcohol included or not included? Because it's always very awkward when you get there and you don't know. Last thing I'll tell you, because we're running out of time, engage with us on social media while we're there. If you've done your vetting and you feel good about having us and you're investing in us, then help us get that word out. Talk with us while we're on social media. If we say we went here and we liked it, ask us what part was our favorite, and we'll tell you, and other people will start becoming engaged, and your dollar will go farther. Also, share our article when we get back and we write the article. Share it on social media. Backlink it on your own site. Just really leverage it as best you can, because that's just an easy and affordable way to stretch your dollar further. If you thought this was helpful, then please come to our site at 365atlantatraveler.com/blog or help, where we've started a new weekly podcast that helps you learn how to maximize the value of your blogger relationships. I would love to see you there, and thanks for letting me come and talk to y'all today.